Arambabi, hey, man, Arambabi, oh, abi dem Arambabi. Arambabi, they don't disgrace Sam. The disgrace that they give her, in the next generation, if you see LP go run, hey, can you imagine? You call yourself a member or chairman or whatever you call yourself for LP, then among the people where they bring comments, make come testify for APC, you can't go join them. You can't talk in favor of APC against LP, where you say you represent. To see the water they give her for court today. A disgrace, Sam. If you now see disgrace, hey, obedient mash go court. How? Trust obedience. I will show now the video. In fact, when myself watch me, I say obedient not the fuck up. They're not the 4-person hand. Hey. Well, that aside, now coming to the next news. Nigeria corruption not go finish you, and this is the corruption Obi say he won't con scrape out. You see all those corner where people take they chop money where they're not supposed to chop. You see all those loopholes where they did. In fact, it's not open eye. Dead robbery na be. Una go bring one flight. Come on, una go charter amo. Una go borrow amo. Una go. I don't just understand. Nigeria itself, I don't know. They don't, corruption also eats them, to the extent you can just form anything. At least, if you talk, say snake swallow money, and person believe you. Say any other story you come up, person must believe you. I mean, when I see Nigeria when I hear the news, I was like, my God. So somebody will just sit down, they use one thing till they chop money constantly. Like, put people in the dark, you don't even care. Who is sponsoring you? Who they sponsor now? Who they on a back? My people, these governments go auto. Because right now, even Tinubu himself, he knows that the situation is down in the odds. In fact, he knows the people where they wait for and make he exit that position. Now, he plenty, he Sarah, now he be. So himself, in the way they sit tight, say anywhere with the corruption, he want to fish him out. But now, I'm gonna listen. Who entered there with corruption? Now him. So it go dey hard for him to fight this corruption. You see all this way they do so. Whoever he want fish come out, they are either his boys or the corruption, I put them there. So it go hard. So if you must remove corruption, you yourself, you need to like not be associated with corruption. So Obi, they look for any slightest mistake now. We go to the remind them, say, oh, if it was me, I would have done it this way. If it was me, I would have done it this way. Remember the other video where I showed now where Obi for talk. Say, you know, if you just carry teeth and say you want your command because the teeth they pay you. You carry the screwdriver, take care. He say no. He said the first thing they offer do, they offer dead in that place so that in case they come out and they not go feel them. He said that be the sense way Tinubu no gets. He said I ain't get that sense. Well, coming to the judiciary, the whole case don't they go to the pattern where we want them, and we know say we go work carriage there. And they talk a small millipede. For you know to the this millipede too slow or this snail too slow. Come back in another 2 hours. Don't be the position where you for say them before. Maybe you go say them again. And so this case be. My people, and so many other stories as they go along the line, I will show now the video. It's on my Bod TV board, broadcast on demand. Where would they carry the news in just, you know, way be say you will understand them in case you don't miss out. You know, say news they come and pim, will they miss some, and so you're not gonna miss some. So anyone where you feel miss or where you want miss, you know, we will try bring the video come out, make us show you say you be miss this one, we are seeing for you. And so you be my people. So my Bod TV. Make you not forget to share this video, like and subscribe. I'll see my next video again.
And the need for us to get rid of miscreants, unscrupulous elements within us and in this country. Arambabi came as a witness for APC. And he claims that he's representing Labour Party. That was what we stood against. That he has been expelled and he cannot stand for Labour Party. He brought a lawyer, a fake lawyer, God bless you.
Sergeant Bay lawyer.
I hope you watch lawyer. He brought a lawyer to represent Labour Party. So I stood up and I said, I'm the chairman of Labour Party in Lagos State. This man has no right to come and represent us because, number one, as we speak, he's not part of Labour Party. And it's important right now for we to state this categorically. He came in with armed policemen
and thugs.
Yes. They came with about 5 vehicles
full of thugs and guns.
More than 5.
Powerless
With guns.
Now, what we're saying is that it's important for the security, the police, DSS, not to aid these people. They are not worth it. Because what they are doing, helping them and aiding them, would eventually cause anarchy. Yes. Because this man cannot be parading himself as Labour Party member. He's putting in legality on legality. Yes. And this will not be accepted. Yes. It will not be accepted. Yes. We have suffered enough. We have been attacked. We've been maimed. People have been killed. And yet, this man keeps parading himself. This is what we stood up against in the court. When he came, he attacked people and was spilling all sorts. And we told him he should keep his mouth shut because he's not Labour Party and he cannot represent Labour Party. It's simple. It's simple. So we are calling on there's a court order restraining Arambabi and cohorts from parading themselves as the National Working Committee in Labour Party. Because number one, these things were tendered in court. And to God be the glory, Labour Party! Labour Party! The court dismissed that lawyer, that fake lawyer.
Yes!
From acting on behalf of Ayeni, from acting on behalf of Labour Party. So that is one case dismissed.
Victory for us.
Win.
So at least we want to.
Please call the name again.
B.A. Ayeni is the fake lawyer.
Parading as Labour Party.
We want to applaud the judges for taking the right stand. And they need to be able to boost the confidence of the people. So that we can trust in their judgments. How can somebody come just exactly what happened in Theo's case?
Sir, it means today was a bit more fruitful than the other days.
Yeah, all the days have been fruitful. It depends on what happened on each day. But you could see that at least it is obvious that we have so much to present. And the court has been magnanimous and our colleagues have worked with us. So we have made the presentations and we have so much more to present, even as our days keep moving.
What is the difference between the Form ECD and the Form ECD8A?
Well, you will, let me say it this way. Part of the contentions is 36 states and the FCT. So EC8D is the result of the 36 states and FCT, and EC8DA is the national result. It will be clearer when we begin to address the court on those two forms.
So how do you feel, sir, that all the documents you are tendering have been objected to?
Not all of them were objected to. EC8DA was not objected to. And it is part of the pre-trial report and is in compliance with the Electoral Act and the schedule. That is being objected to didn't mean it was not admitted in evidence. We will get to know why they objected to them, and we will also have opportunity to respond to whatever argument they make as basis for our objections. But don't worry about that. The court will take care of all those.
So could you give us an insight to what will happen tomorrow?
So tomorrow we will very likely be rounding up with our document tenderings. We thought we could conclude all of them today, but you notice that both for judges to have been sitting since morning, we don't, and we are also tired. We were tired. That's the truth of it. You can look at what the time is today, but by tomorrow we'll be rounding up, and then the witnesses will start coming to talk to those documents, and then you begin to see life coming into the documents. But that's how election petitions go. The documents will go in, the witnesses will speak.
What about your subpoena reverse reports? When will they be available?
They will be available before too long.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
The Senate's approval of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's appointment of 20 special advisors has generated reactions on social media, although the president's letter to the upper chamber requesting the approval of the 20 special advisors had no names attached. Some Nigerians have expressed concern as to the nature of their duties and the cost implications. Last Friday, June 2nd, barely a week after inauguration, Tinubu announced the appointment of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, as Chief of Staff, and Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hajijiya as his Deputy Chief of Staff. Well, let's take some reactions. This is from Martins, who wrote, 20 special advisors would still be paid salaries, allowances, and would have securities and oddlies attached to them, with probably a long convoy. Cost of governance keep rising. Or Samuel wrote, like subsidy, we are waiting for Tinubu to make a strong statement on cutting the cost of governance. There is no better way to start than with these special advisors. It should not be business as usual. Cut all the entitlements to the basics. We must plug all the holes. Or Cecilia wrote, Nigerian senators are paid 13.5 million naira monthly to share the national cake, while service providers, lecturers, professors, doctors, nurses, teachers, police, military starve, and no one sees the perversion. What a country. I mean, do you really think that the president needs all of those advisors just shared with us about their duties and all of that? Do we need that at this point in our economy?
In our economy, we need whatever the president says he needs. But at the same time, there is absolutely no way you can justify a situation where you have so many special advisors. And like Ruben said, yes, there will be 20 special advisors, but there will still be senior special assistants. There will still be special assistants. Mm-hmm. So the number increases. Yeah. And Ruben, you can help us understand. Do they all get paid or not?
They get paid.
They might not have all
they don't have convoys, but see, the president cannot do the job alone. He can't. Take, for example, special advisor, media and publicity. The president cannot be speaking for himself. He will need a spokesperson. The spokesperson running a department with a team of about 150 people, and that includes the State House Press Corps. That includes different departments working on statements, preparing speeches, reporting meetings.
Does that fall under the purview of the Ministry of Information?
It's not Ministry of Information.
Is that
the Ministry of Information speaks for government. The office of the president has his own communications team.
For the president.
So
yes.
That really then
I mean, it's not as if that's an expensive operation. Okay, are you going to say the president of Nigeria should not have a chief physician? He will have a chief physician.
If I could just very quickly chip in, it takes me to the point. The reason I deferred to Ruben's position is because of what elder statesman, Engineer Oguleye, Senator Oguleye said. This presidential system is expensive.
Absolutely.
It costs us too much money.
It's ridiculous.
If it was a different kind of government, the president will not need to have that many people.
No.
And if he does, there will be members of the parliament who are working with the president. We know how it works in the United Kingdom, where the government is different.
That is the
They
alternative.
also have advisors
Ayo.
in the UK.
Yes,
Yes.
but not many, not this number.
Rishi Sunak recently appointed an economic advisor.
Not the
I
kind
was
of
just going
number.
to
I just-
mention
yeah,
that,
so we can
yes,
move to our
the president
second
cannot do the work alone.
Yes.
However, he, as was mentioned in section 151 and 152 of the Constitution, he has discretionary powers. What the Senate does is to approve the numbers. In 2019, President Buhari had approached the Senate to appoint 15 special advisors. In 2011 was 20 from President Goodluck Jonathan, and that came under criticism because they put the amount of money that he was going to spend, that's taxpayers' money, to fund this at about 15,543,000, and that was a lot. In the spirit of the fuel subsidy removal, what Nigerians perhaps would have expected was that, yes, he needs advisors, he cannot run alone, but that he would be a slimmer team. A slimmer team, especially because if he's saying he wants to have an effective and efficient team. We're not asking him not to have advisors. What we're saying is that he must reflect the current state of our economy. That's what people are asking. And in terms of the details, perhaps when he releases the details of what he's appointing them for, it might justify the numbers. We don't have that yet. He would release that afterwards.
In any case, you are talking about number. These 20 special advisors that he wants approval for, they will be shared between him and the vice president.
All right,
because
Dr.
the vice president has his own, wing of the villa, and he also has advisors who assist him in the day-to-day running.
I support Kayode's stance, which is maybe we should adopt the parliamentary system. Correct. Nigerian Air was trending on Tuesday after members of the Senate Committee on Aviation expressed dissatisfaction at the unveiling of the purported national carrier, the launch of Nigeria Air with just one aircraft. On the last working day of the Buhari administration on May 26, 2023, was declared by the chairman of the House Committee on Aviation, Nolim Naji, a fraud after major stakeholders in the deal between the federal government and Ethiopian Airlines denied knowledge of the launch.
We want to put on record that the committee and indeed the National Assembly had no role in the purported launch of Nigeria Air or anything related thereof. We as a committee will not accept any attempt by any individual or group of individuals or organization to hide under the project Nigeria Air and siphon our commonwealth. Consequently, the committee hereby resolved to 1. Direct the Federal Ministry of Aviation and its partners in the Nigeria Air project to immediately suspend any operation regarding to Nigeria Air and every other action with respect to Nigeria Air. 2. Urge our new president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the president and commander-in-chief, to, as a matter of urgency, constitute a high-level presidential committee to undertake a holistic review of the processes of the whole Nigeria Air project and advise the government on the way forward. 3. Ensure that all individuals or groups or organizations involved in the controversial Nigeria Air takeoff are brought to book, prosecuted and sanctioned.
SACOL, which the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, named as one of the shareholders of the 46% said to belong to Nigerian institutional investors, denied at the House session that they had anything to do with the airline and that the shareholders announced by the minister did not contribute a dime to the purported airline. They also claimed that every expenditure came from the federal government. The MD of the Nigeria Airspace Management Agency also stated that the aircraft which the minister brought in as Nigeria Air was a chartered Ethiopian aircraft and that the aircraft does not belong to the national carrier. ICRC, the body which gives the final compliance certificate to government businesses, has not given approval to the Ministry of Aviation to carry on with the national carrier due to the pending court order filed by AON. They claim that the House Committee meeting that they knew nothing about the launch of the Nigeria airline. I mean, this has caused a lot of reactions on social media. You know, Ayo, I'd like to come to you on the story. A lot of questions here. I mean, the fact that SACOL had pulled out, saying that, you know, they had nothing to do with the airline. I mean, what does that signify? I mean, does it mean that the Minister of Aviation had used our taxes for this? I mean, what is...
What they said was that they were not invited to the unveiling, so they were
But
not
they also
aware.
denied, like you heard me, saying that they did not contribute a dime.
Yes, so people question that. So the billions of naira that have been sent prior to, the logo, the unveiling, earlier on I'd questioned how much money was spent even for that ceremony, that now, in terms of nomenclature, we're trying to identify whether it was an unveiling or a launch. What we heard was that it was a launch. It was an aircraft that arrived on Nigerian soil, and it had the flag painted on the wings and all that. And there were pictures taken, and people said we were launching something on the 26th of May 2023. Now we find out that it's not even there. Other questions, OG, is that there's an MD, Dakolumide, and people have asked, what office was he working from? Who were his, what staff, who was he reporting to? What was the structure in that particular office? Because they don't have a website. I don't know if they have a registered office. So it just feels like Nigerians were taken for a ride.
Yes, I mean, with all of these approvals lacking, and what are we saying? That the minister went ahead in defiance of the court order. You know, people have been sending tweets. I'll take one more tweet. This is Preach Love, says, since the reps have declared that the Nigeria Air launch is a fraud, I'd like to confirm if Hadi Sirika has been arrested for deceiving Nigerians. I mean, this is actually the point. Kayode, we only have about maybe 30 seconds if you want to add to this really quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. It is a fraud because, like I said, if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. And that's what I was trying to say the other time. This is a complete fraud. The minister has taken Nigerians for a ride. It should be investigated. And this government of President Tinubu should investigate this and make sure that Ministry of Aviation gets the right people within that organization to spell out everything that happened, how much money was spent, how much. I mean, imagine the thing you walked through that was supposed to be one. Each one was costing so many millions. It's unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
Well, I mean, we need to know what actually is going on. They have called for, the halting of this whole transaction. Well, thank you all. I don't know if you want to say something.
People should be careful when they just put labels. Because there are other commentators on the subject. Bashir Ahmed, for example, who worked in the office of the president, who said it is not a fraud.
Yes, I had a tweet.
Dakolumide, the MD, also said, look, it's not a fraud. What they did was not a launch, that it was an unveiling, and that it is not wrong within the aviation industry, to charter a flight, okay? But the question is, which I pointed out earlier on, is that it's good that the aviation committees in the National Assembly are asking questions, because these are representatives of the people, and they have the right to ask questions. Nigerians also have the right to know. So if there are gray areas, it's part of the responsibility of the new administration to look into it, because they have inherited it, as they have inherited other things. 83 memos, many last-minute contracts that are awarded, fuel subsidy that was pushed onto their plates.
So we have run out of time.
Bod. In case the first time you come here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more uploads.